Alright, today I want to critique my old comics, Knights and Rubies and Pumari's Bounty. Alright, so to start off with, we're going to start off with Knights and Rubies. I made this comic back in 2019, August 5th, 2019. That's how old this is. Actually, it's not that old. It's only about a year old. But this is my very first webcomic on Webtoons, where it all began. I already like making comics, but back in 2019 is when I actually decided to post my first comic. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm gonna critique it and stuff. See how good or bad I was back then. So to start it off, let's just read the summary. A little bio. Cal and Liz are looking to make some money. What's the best way? Join a guild. So yeah, I remember this series was supposed to be about like some adventures, just trying to make money, do on like silly adventures and stuff, just earning rubies for some reason. And in this story, rubies were supposed to be like the currency of the story of this world, and that's why I called it Knights and Rubies. The knights were supposed to be my main characters, adventurers, whatever, and they're trying to get rubies. So let's just get into the first episode. Alright, so this is where it all started. This is my very first comic, and right off the bat, it's blurry. That's terrible. It's freaking blurry. What I should not have done when I started my very first comic, I don't think, is first of all, I gave myself a week deadline to do like a whole episode of the comics, but also I freaking colored it. Color is so time consuming when making comics and stuff. I'm not gonna read this whole thing. I'm gonna scroll through the first episode, but yeah, I definitely shouldn't have colored it. I should have focused more on my line art, making sure the comic wasn't blurry, because most of these panels are blurry as heck. And when I colored it too, I'm seeing like this panel right here. I had no idea even how to color it. I didn't have any color schemes for my backgrounds and stuff. And just this whole process was kind of rushed. I just wanted to hurry up and make a comic and put it out there, really. But they enter the tavern where Hawkman might be, and then they get inside and they're trying to look for him. And then this random dude, I don't even know who this dude is. He's just like a random side character I made up just for the story, just for the plot. We were looking for members, and that's how it ends. We can move on to episode 2. So episode 2, I'm still going along with the story. I'm just gonna skim through it, but basically, like, look at this background too. I gotta get better at making backgrounds. That's one thing that I didn't do well in this comic. That's for sure. But my character design wasn't that bad. I could have used more reference, definitely, though. I'm not gonna read everything, just skim through it. But basically, Hawkman is trying to test these guys to see if they're worthy of getting into the guild. And then these monsters show up. He's like, if you want to join the guild, you gotta prove your worth or whatever by fighting off these monsters. And then episode 3. So while Cal went into the front entrance, I had Liz in the rafters of the building. This scene isn't really that bad, but this is where I actually, I guess, get control over the comic as far as being blurry. I don't know how I fix it. I just did it. But yeah, you can see my lines are definitely a lot more crisp, a lot more, or just a lot less blurry. But while Cal is down here fighting, Liz is up there, and she's got his back. I like this scene though. I think I did a pretty good job on this fight scene. So they're coming in, finna attack him. She's like, I guess I should help him. And then, foosh, 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 foosh. And I like this is actually my favorite part of the comic right here, is where Liz throws her throwing knife or dagger, whatever, and it turns into like a magic double dagger thing, and she throws it at the shadow. And this right here, this is dope. Boom. I like that. That's dope. Again, this is my first comic, so I was still trying to figure everything out, but I do like this scene. And then boom. That was pretty cool. So now it's his turn. He's charging up his attack, and we're done here. That's just funny to me. I don't know why it's funny, but it's funny to me. Swoosh, and he destroys the shadow monsters. But after that, he slices them, destroys them, and he lets their guard down, right? So we move on to episode 4. And I think this is the last episode. Episode 4. I don't think I made anything after this. I think the problem with this comic specifically is I had a story in mind and I had characters I wanted to tell a story with, but I didn't know how to actually write a full story or a shorter form story like I do now. I have a little more experience with it. But yeah, I didn't complete this because, or I stopped working on it just because I didn't know where the story was going. I didn't know where I wanted it to go, and that's not a good look for comics. Okay, so we're on the front page for my short story, Pumari's Bounty. What's funny about this is I was actually already writing a story for my character Pumari, but then I saw that Webtoon was doing a short story contest. This story didn't really fit the theme, but I was like, I'm gonna enter the contest anyway, just cause, just to practice and make a comic, you know. With Pumari's Bounty, I did finish the story, or not. I didn't finish the comic, but I wrote the entire story. I just didn't finish it here on Webtoons. I don't know if I am either. But let's just get started. So the bio down here, let's see. Pumari is a bounty hunter that doesn't kill. When a high-paying noble requests his services, he must decide whether or not he should accept the bounty. Okay, that's pretty fire. That's a pretty fire introduction to the story. But let's get into the first episode. Okay, so this is probably one of my favorite parts of the story. I made like this logo pretty much for the story, Pumari's Bounty, and I think it came out pretty cool. I definitely could have did a lot better with it, but I like how I have this like flame going around the logo and whatever. Story art, Adrian Morris. I'm inspired by like God of High School on Webtoons and stuff, and comics like that. I read Novelist. That was a cool story. It has its own anime now. That's dope. But yeah, I was inspired by stories like this, and that's kind of where I got my inspiration for some of this stuff in my comics. But we start off with this cool like transition into the comic with the title screen, I guess, and then we go into the main story. So right off the bat, bro, you got to get better at landscapes. Way better. I remember at first, so like I said, I got inspired by like God of High School and comics like that here on Webtoon, and I try to make my line art like really thin, but in this case, it didn't really work that well. I just got to get better at landscapes. But this is a city where Pumari's headed, and we see him down here walking. You can't even tell that's a person. but it is made for phones, and I'm on my computer. But he's walking, tap tap. I should just do step, huh? For a sound effect. I don't know. And he says, "I finally made it." I think I did pretty good on the character design. As far as characters in this story, way better than Knights and Rubies, but I definitely need to work on my landscapes. Look at this color job. What the heck? What are you doing? Can't even color inside the lines, Adrian. Let's get it. Gotta do better. Kind of critiquing myself here. Right here, inside the lines, right here, outside the lines. That's funny. But I think my facial expressions, character designs got better in this comic. I'm gonna scroll through. You can read it if you want to, but I don't want to hurry up and get through it so we can move on to the other episodes. There you go. There's some updated stuff. Adrian Makes Art, Instagram, Adrian Makes Art, YouTube. There you go. Dang. Actually, when did I make this comic? I think I made it this year, 2020. I'm pretty sure it's 2020. Okay, yeah, this was early 2020, and we're pretty much at the end of the year almost. I don't kill. Yeah, he's a bounty hunter that doesn't kill. But you can also notice that my lines are actually a lot better, just because I wasn't trying to do something I wasn't comfortable with the thinner lines. And but okay, right here, pretty good landscape view. Still could have done a lot better with it. Like back then, I didn't know how to use the perspective tool in Clip Studio. I still don't know really. I definitely got to practice with it a lot more, so I can draw better landscapes than this, like for real. But it was my first like landscape of a town or whatever. I like it. It's pretty cool. Again, just no color next time. I'm not doing color next time. Why do they always do that? And then in this scene, she actually runs into my other character, Avi, and Nuki. Avi, what the heck are you doing here? And she crashes into him. He falls down. Little joke, trying to tell jokes and stuff. I don't know if it's funny. Tell me if that was funny. If you're just reading that for the first time, tell me if that was funny. I don't know if it's funny. I like the character design in this comic. Like I said, better than Knights and Rubies. Another pretty cool landscape, but I feel like the people are way too small in this shot. All these dots here are supposed to be people, while these are the buildings. Look how small that is. Look how small they are. And I transitioned from day to night, day, evening to night. Dang, Pumari, what was you doing all that time? This is where color does come in at an advantage. You can pull off effects like this and have that warmness to it. If I was to do this in black and white, it would probably feel a little bit, just a little bit flat, a little bit flat. Okay, so this is the last episode, but technically it isn't. It's not supposed to be the last episode. There's supposed to be 5 episodes. I just didn't end up finishing it. I was trying to get it done before the deadline, basically, and I didn't get it done before the deadline. So after the deadline happened, I was just like, whatever. But I do wish I kind of finished it. I might finish it still. I don't know. The thing about this whole thing is just color. It just took up so much time. That's probably also why I didn't want to finish it. Is because coloring it was a pain. Like, it just felt like a pain to color. My very first couple of web comics on Webtoon, I think I can definitely learn a lot from, or I definitely did learn a lot from doing those projects. And I'm going to take all that information I learned and just apply it to my next comic I make, and hopefully make it even better and actually finish the story, because I didn't finish either one of them. So that's it. If you got any critiques for me as far as comics and stuff, leave them in the comments for me as well, because I definitely want to improve my storytelling. Definitely want to improve my my comics as well, and my characters and all that. So thanks for watching, and that's all I got.